Hi, everyone. Welcome to another miraculous moment. And I am delighted to have my friend Sharon Sayler as my guest today. And let me tell you just a little bit about her. Since 2015, Sharon Sayler, an NBC HWC board certified health and well-being coach, has been dedicated to inspiring hope and help for those with autoimmune conditions. Her struggles to find answers and make meaning from her autoimmune experience manifested into her highly regarded show called The Autoimmune Hour. It's all about living well, regardless of your diagnosis. She is also a body language expert and an ICF PCC executive and leadership coach, where clients affectionately call her the difficult people whisperer. And she will tell us also how you can find out more information about her in just a moment. But Sharon, I'm so happy that you're here. Sharon and I met through an organization that we're both involved with, the Evolutionary Business Council, and have been blessed to have had a connection and friendship. She even stayed with me when we had one of our events here in San Diego. And unfortunately, we have not seen each other in person like many of us. But I'm delighted that you're here today. So to start, what I always ask people is, what does a miracle or a miraculous moment mean to you?
Oh my goodness. The first word that comes to me is like blessing.
Yes.
And then the second word is deep gratitude. I
Mm.
never know when they're going to happen. And even if it's to me a little miracle, I always say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And just in that moment when I realize, oh my goodness, this is a miracle moment. And it could be just a little moment. But like whenever I see hummingbirds, I'm delighted. I'm joyful when I see hummingbirds. So I always go, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm delighted when I see them too. I love them. And you're right. It doesn't have to be something big. It's even paying attention to all the wonderful miracles that are around us all the time. So I love that you're saying that. So why don't you share one of your miraculous moments?
Okay. Well, this is a bigger one. How's that? And
That's
some
okay.
people might kind of roll their eyes, but I actually think in June of 2014, when I was diagnosed with a very severe life-threatening autoimmune condition, looking back, 7 years later, it was a miracle. My life changed radically in that moment for many, many reasons, as you can guess. But just stepping back from that a little bit, I've always been a person that tries to make meaning out of things and positive meanings out of it. And when I was diagnosed with the autoimmune condition, I was so frustrated with the doctors not listening to me, calling me things like little lady, or saying it was all in my head, even though I had these horrible rashes. I mean, it just wasn't making sense. And I said to my family, oh, gosh, I go around the world teaching communication. I do body language with people. If I am this frustrated trying to be heard and taken seriously, what is someone else without my training going through? And that's how I started to make meaning about the diagnosis. And now the show is doing great. We're coming up on our number 350th episode.
Wow.
And I get letters from people, and it just has changed my world too. So yeah, to me, that's my big miracle moment, was oddly enough, a life-threatening diagnosis.
Yeah, so share just a little bit more how you began to shift, because obviously you weren't exactly feeling well. The treatments that you were receiving initially were pretty harsh. And we're not saying necessarily don't listen to doctors, but
No.
in your case, share a little bit how you began to shift in the circumstances that you were dealt.
Well, I'll say Western medicine saved my life. So we're not saying don't listen to doctors, but I'm also saying tune into yourself and listen to yourself. If you're frustrated talking to one particular doctor, it doesn't mean that all doctors are difficult. I have an amazing team of doctors right now that are keeping me going, keeping me healthy, guiding me in the right direction that's right for me. And I want to make sure that's very clear. What's right for you isn't right for everyone else. You will know you best and what your body needs. If you tune in and listen to it, the miracle of our body is it's telling us all the time. Our emotions are telling us all the time. The little intuitive voices are telling us all the time what's right for us if we just take the time to listen. And out of my frustration grew the autoimmune hour. So in January, I was diagnosed in June 2014, January 2015, I had the opportunity to start a podcast. And I started having guests on, and a lot of them were doctors and things like that. I was strictly focused on the physical. Well, let's get the physical going. And honestly, that's what I needed at the time, was making the body strong and healthy again. Yet, one of the things that happened just through the number of guests that came on the show, and then people say, "Oh, Sharon, have you met so-and-so and so-and-so?" Like through our meetings and things like that, you've said, "Oh, Sharon, meet so-and-so." It's just fantastic. I met an amazing group of people who looked at wellness more holistically. They said, okay, the body's doing well now, Sharon, you're on the right path. And then what are we doing about past traumas? What are we doing about spiritual? What are we doing about emotional? What are we doing about mental? And to me, that was another miracle moment, was that awakening that we're not just the physical being, and we can we can thrive regardless of our diagnosis.
Yeah, I like what you just said about, and I want to repeat it, that we can thrive despite our diagnosis. And I know that that is a theme that you very strongly believe in.
Oh, absolutely. I do not like the words when people say I am a survivor of, and they say whatever your diagnosis is. The autoimmune hour, yes, we focus on that, but we've had people who have thrived after cancer diagnosis. We've had people who have had liver transplants, all sorts of thrivers on the show, about not just surviving with the diagnosis, because too often I see people make the diagnosis their identity. So what happens when a doctor says to you, Sharon, you have, and in my case, it's called dermatomyositis, a great big word that meant nothing to me when I heard it first. So you have dermatomyositis. It's like, oh, okay. And of course, watching the body language of the doctor, I knew it wasn't good. Okay, I don't know what it is, but it's not good. And I had to be really careful. I said at the time, just replied, thank you. And the doctor said, no, you don't understand. And I said, oh, I understand. What they didn't understand is I didn't want ownership of it. And I like to tell the story because I used to travel to the South a lot and things like that. And I like to tell the story of, like, you could have cockroaches, but that doesn't mean I want to own them, right? The pest guy can come to my house and say, you have cockroaches. And I'd go, okay, get rid of it. And that's where I wanted to put the diagnosis. Okay, thank you for letting me know. Now I know what has to change. Unlike some people walk around, oh, woe is me, I am my diagnosis. And we have to be really careful when we language that, because then not just the body starts believing it, but our emotions start believing it, our mental health starts believing it, the whole shebang starts believing it. And then we can get stuck in a downward spiral when it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah, so can you suggest for somebody that might be struggling with something, whether it be a new diagnosis or something that they've been dealing with even for quite some time, what's one or two things that you might suggest to empower them more?
Great question. One of my favorites is gratitude. And so every day start with thanking your body, thanking yourself, whatever it is. And at first I was in such pain with the diagnosis. I lost 60% of my skin in a matter of 4 weeks. So I was in such pain. Just waking up and breathing, I would say, thank you, body, for waking up today. It can be as simple as that, but that can change the world. It's amazing to me. So gratitude, and then do a gratitude journal. And on that journal, I like to write on the right-hand side of the page and leave the left-hand side blank. And then the person who taught me this had a very preset thing. Every month they would go back and they would read. I'm not quite that organized, but I like to go back and read some of the previous posts, what was going on in my life. And now I write on the left-hand side of the page, I date it and write what's changed.
Oh, wow.
And
I've never heard that before.
you can see these miraculous things unfolding. And yeah, you might read on that one date 4 months ago, gosh, that was kind of a low point and the gratitude was kind of small and things like that. But then you are able to write now, wow, yeah, this too shall pass and I'll get through it. So that's one of my favorite ones. And
Mine
then
too, by the way.
yeah, I love it. One of my favorites. And then my second one is reach out. Reach out to other people. Reach out to communities, though, that are about thriving, not surviving. That there are answers, that you'll find them, that the world is not, all bad news type of thing. Make sure that you get around like-minded people who are wanting to change this, and find community, and then become a patient advocate. Because when you learn to speak up for yourself, you're not just speaking up for you, you're speaking up for everyone that comes after you that for whatever reason doesn't have the courage or the skills or the ability to speak for themselves.
Oh, I love that. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for today. I think it's really important for anybody, depending on where they are in their lives, being a 70-year-old and wanting to remain healthy and well. What you've just said is equally important in maintaining health. And I do know how important it is to reach out and the blessings that gratitude can provide. And like you said, I too have had moments where it's like, I'm so grateful I woke up. I'm so grateful my heart is continuing to beat. Sometimes it is really, I'm grateful I have a roof over my head. Whatever it is. And not just to say it, but to allow yourself to really feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because there is an energy that comes with that also is very nourishing for not just your body, but your mind. And it just keeps you in a more positive trajectory. So Sharon, tell everyone if they want to listen in on the autoimmune hour, or if they want to find out more information about you, how can they find you?
Well, thank you. For the autoimmune hour, 2 ways: social media, it's always at Understanding Autoimmune. You can find us on social media at Understanding Autoimmune, or the website where we have we're getting, like I said, close to 350 episodes, is understandingautoimmune.com. You can find all the episodes there, or we're on iHeart, Spotify. We're a big show on Om Times Radio as well, which is both internet and terrestrial. And then, so let's see, we're on YouTube. So anywhere, find us there for the show. And at Understanding Autoimmune, if you have a suggestion for a guest, there's a little tab up there that says be a guest. Drop us a note. Let us know who you think would be awesome and you'd want to hear from. We love hearing that. And then for the rest of my work, my communications work, you can find out more at Sharon Sayler, SAYLER.com. So thank you, Wendy. It's been fun.
Oh, it's been wonderful. Health is, in my world, the first foundational component. When we have our health, we can navigate through anything. And this body of ours is truly a miracle. And the less we can take care of it, the better off everything else will be. So thank you everyone. And by the way, if you feel like you would like to experience a few more miraculous moments of your own, feel free to reach out to me, Wendy at wendydarling.com. Thanks, everyone.